The extraterrestrial races in this group include the ubiquitous Grays from the star system Zeta Reticulum and the Orion Constellation, who are described in most of the abduction research and who figure prominently in reports of UFO crashes. Col Phillip Corso served in the Eisenhower administration and later headed the Foreign Technology Desk at the U.S. Army's Research and Development Department, and is yet another long-serving military official who became a whistleblower on the secret extraterrestrial presence. In his memoirs, he claims to have witnessed the body of a dead gray retrieved from Roswell in 1947 that fit the classic description of a 4-foot-tall extraterrestrial with a large head, large black almond-shaped eyes, thin torso and spindly arms and legs. A classic description is by Travis Walton, who had an abduction experience with the Grays. They were very short, shorter than 5 feet, and they had very large bald heads, no hair. Their heads were domed, very large. They looked like fetuses. They had no eyebrows, no eyelashes. They had very large eyes, enormous eyes, almost all brown, without much white in them. The creepiest thing about them were those eyes. Oh, man, those eyes, they just stared through me. Many researchers agree that the Grays are deeply involved in developing a hybrid human gray race that would be a suitable vehicle for the next step in human evolution. 18 According to Col Corso, the Grays were involved in agreements with the Eisenhower administration that military officials saw as a form of negotiated surrender, where the Grays gained permission for abducting civilians and expanding their biological program. The Grays are very active in human abductions, genetic experiments, monitoring humans through implants, mind control/programming, cloning, and creation of hybrid humans. These contribute to systemic global problems such as humans traumatized by abduction experiences, genetically modified humans, implants for monitoring humans, and an overly passive population due to hypnotic mind control/programming. The second prominent race in this group of extraterrestrials are the tall Grays, described by Robert Dean as a very large group. I say large. They were 6 to 8, maybe sometimes 9 feet tall, and they were humanoid, but they were very pale, very white, didn't have any hair on their bodies at all. Tall Grays are described to originate from the Orion Constellation, and according to Dr. Arthur Horn play an overseeing role vis-a-vis short Grays. The short Grays are overseen within their own ranks by the taller 7 to 8 foot tall Grays. These Grays are the ones that actually carry out diplomatic missions, such as secretly negotiating treaties with heads of human governments. As mentioned, the Grays in general, and the small 3 to 5 foot Grays in particular, have been likened to mercenaries. Confirmation for the diplomatic role played by the tall Grays comes from William Cooper, former Navy intelligence advisor, who claims he saw classified documents where the tall Grays did negotiate agreements with the Eisenhower administration in meetings beginning in 1954. Later in 1954, the race of large-nosed gray aliens which had been orbiting the Earth landed at Holloman Air Force Base. A basic agreement was reached. This race identified themselves as originating from a planet around a red star in the constellation of Orion, which we called Betelgeuse. They stated that their planet was dying and that at some unknown future time they would no longer be able to survive there. Global problems that are influenced by the tall Grays include genetically modified humans, implants for monitoring humans, an overly passive population due to hypnotic mind control, influence over elite decision makers, and the infiltration of national security agencies. How to protect oneself. The specific aim of the reptilians and the Grays is to take over planet Earth through covert mind control methods, much like the Illuminati and secret government is trying to do on Earth. These two groups are intimately connected. Most people think of world takeover only in terms of military means such as bombs and guns. They don't need to do this if they can control the people, and world leaders through mind control, hypnosis, and brain implants. The key question is, what do we do to stop this? Our government has sold us out because of their greed for power and world domination, and now they can't stop what they have started. The first step is for the people of Earth to reclaim the world's governments. We must force the governments to release all the knowledge they have about extraterrestrials to the world at large. Half the battle is won if the people of the world know what they are dealing with. If people knew what was happening, they would not be so much on automatic pilot. The only way to protect ourselves is through the strength of our consciousness. If a person is attuned to God and the Masters, and owns their personal power, and has self-mastery over their energies, they have nothing to worry about. The world needs to wake up spiritually and psychologically, and stop being victims. It is this victim consciousness that allows them to be abducted and manipulated. If ever you sense them around, just pray, affirm, and visualize protection for yourself. Your connection with God and the Masters will bring you immediate protection. The only true hope for this planet is a mass spiritual awakening which, in truth, is beginning to occur. This spiritual awakening must also lead us into political action to remove the secret government and Illuminati from power. It is these beings that are controlled and manipulated, implanted, and hypnotized by the negative extraterrestrials. Part of our strength is also to think as individuals. The Greys are a group memory complex that has very little ability to think on their own. It is time now to make people aware of what is really going on. Share this information and others like it with your friends. Do more research on your own. If enough people become aware, the 100th monkey effect will begin to occur. It is already happening. The people reading this book are the light bearers for the new age. It will only happen if we do it. The world will change when we change it. This change begins in consciousness, which leads to individual and group action. The secret government, Illuminati, and negative extraterrestrials are more vulnerable now than ever before.